So suppose that we wanted to fully factorize the following expression. So the first thing that you want to look for is the greatest common factor. You see, I have two major terms. I have this chunk here and this chunk there, separated by a subtraction operator. Now, what's here that's also here? You see, I have a puzzle piece that says x minus 1. I have a puzzle piece that says x minus 1, but here I have two copies of them. In like fashion, I have repeating factors, whereas here I have one of them, and here I have two of them. So watch what I do. Let me create some brackets. What can I take out from here? I can take out one copy of this and one copy of that. And I'm going to dump it outside. Watch. So I have x minus 1 and then x plus 2. So right now, I'm only focusing on this. What did this lose? This lost this. So what's left in here is the additional copy of x plus 2, which I can drop in right there. Now, why don't we carry our subtraction operator? Now, similarly, this lost this. And if these pieces lost these pieces, which of these pieces remains? That extra copy of x minus 1. Keep it in parentheses, pretty please. And now if you want, just clean up the inside, distribute the negative. That stayed the same. I distribute the negative, so these signs switched. Notice that these x's actually eliminate. And then I have 2 plus 1, which is 3. And so I feel like putting the 3 out in the front. So this is the final result. Let me just go equals, 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 box that in. The goal was to fully factorize this. That is the finished result. Let's try another problem here. Now let's see. So here the goal is the same, to fully factorize this expression. So I look for the greatest common factor. So between 2 and 5, nothing comes out. Look at these x's. There's x's here, there's x's there. So which power do I take out to the front? Let me do my brackets. I like these brackets. So the general rule of thumb is you remove the smallest power. So between these ones, the smaller power is 1/3. So I can take out x to the 1/3. What else can I take out to the front? Well, what else do these guys have in common? I see a repeating factor of x minus 2. And then between these ones, you always take out the smaller power. In this case being negative 1/3. So outside, I take out x minus 2 to the negative 1/3. Now, the hardest part is to decide what is left inside. So let's see here. Let's consider the first piece only. As a matter of fact, let me just ignore this for now. Well, let's see. There is still a 2 there. And the x to the 1/3 got completely removed. And now from here, I took away this. So what has to go in here? Think of it like this. I know it's going to be something x minus 2, but the question is what power goes there? So one way of looking at it is realize that this plus this has to be that. So negative 1/3 plus what becomes 2/3? Well, if you think about it, it's going to be 3/3, right? 3/3 because 3/3 minus 1/3 is 2/3. Another way that students like to think about it is you go this minus this equals that. If you don't believe me, check this out. What if I have, by way of example, what if I have x to the power of 10? And let's say I take out x to the power of 3. What would be left inside? X to the power of 7. How do I know? Because this plus this has to be that, or, and similarly, that minus that has to be this. So that minus that, the double negative becomes that. I know that 3/3 is 1. I'll just leave it like that for now. Also, carry the negative, drop the 5. So now what goes here? Well, I took out a 1/3 from a 4/3. So employ the trick that we just discussed. 4/3 minus 1/3 is 3/3. And let's see, that got completely removed to the front. So there's nothing else to write in here. Let's just clean this up a little bit, shall we? Something like that. And then what's left inside here? That's just 1, and that's just 1. So really, it's 2 times x minus 2 minus 5x. So we have the cubic root of x, and then we have this piece here. And let's see, that's 2x minus 5x. That's negative 3x plus 4 and minus 4. And that looks to be it, right? X to the 1/3, x minus 2 to the negative 1/3. And then you can just use these as parentheses instead of brackets. The brackets are a bit dramatic, but I like them. So that looks to be the case. Now, if your teacher is picky, your teacher could possibly do this. Check this out. Your teacher could possibly do this, where they take out the negative to the front and they make these positive. You don't have to do that, but a lot of teachers like to do that. There it is. The factorization of this is that right there. Also, if it's okay with your teacher that the exponents be negative, that's fine. Otherwise, you would have to drop this to the bottom. But I don't think that's the focus of this lesson. Right now, the goal is to factor. Boom, there it is.